Welcome back, everybody. We're diving into some pretty intense claims today surrounding the U.S. economy.
Yeah, there's a lot of buzz.
A lot of buzz and a lot of potential changes coming with this new administration.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got some sources that are really laying out a pretty wild picture. We're going to be talking about potential financial misconduct
Right.
during the Biden administration.
Yes.
We're going to talk about this idea of a huge stock market bubble that might be about to burst, and what a Trump administration might mean for Wall Street.
A lot to cover.
A lot to cover.
One thing that really jumped out at me from these sources is just the sense that things are about to change.
Right.
It's not just like one or two isolated incidents they're talking about. It's like there's this whole system
Yeah.
of financial wrongdoing that's about to be like exposed.
Yeah, and they're really saying that Biden's economic policies have been a disaster.
Right.
Like they don't hold back at all.
Yeah.
And they're pointing to things like the $7 billion that was allocated for those EV charging stations,
Yeah.
which apparently only resulted in 7 chargers actually being built.
No, right? 7 charges.
7
Yeah.
out of $7 billion.
Yeah.
It really makes you think, where did all that money go?
Yeah, that's a good question. And it kind of plays into this bigger idea they're talking about of like mismanagement and lack of accountability.
Yeah.
They also talk about the possibility of bribery and like these well-timed stock trades by politicians
Yeah.
and manipulating these huge, mega cap stocks.
Okay, so let's break down this whole manipulation thing.
Okay.
What exactly are they saying happened with these mega cap stocks?
So basically they're saying that these companies, like the big tech companies, big financial institutions, they've been inflating their value, like
Yeah.
in ways that are illegal,
Yeah.
creating this bubble. They call it the mother of all bubbles.
The mother of all bubbles. Wow.
Right. It's a pretty dramatic name.
It is.
And they're saying it's all built on like really shaky foundations.
Yeah.
Yeah, like stuff like naked short selling, insider trading, fraudulent accounting, all this stuff.
Wait, hold on. For our listeners who aren't as familiar with all this Wall Street jargon,
Yeah, good point.
what exactly is naked short selling? It sounds kind of scandalous.
It is kind of. Basically, it's when someone bets against a stock, so they'll make money if the price goes down.
Okay.
But they do it without actually owning the shares they're betting against.
Oh.
So it's super risky, and a lot of people think it can be used to manipulate the market.
So they're alleging that this type of behavior was going on like a lot, and that it contributed to this giant stock market bubble.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And they think it's about to pop, this bubble,
Well,
which could be a huge problem for the economy.
yeah.
They're even saying that the U.S. has actually been in a recession
Really?
since 2022, yeah.
Wow.
And it's just been masked by like government spending and all this debt.
So it's like we're all living in this this pretend world?
That's what they're saying, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, so if that's true, this would be like a major earthquake,
Yeah, it could be.
right? If this bubble bursts.
Yeah.
But they seem to think that Trump coming in could be like a turning point.
You do, yeah.
Like it could be the end of all this financial crime.
Right. The end of an era.
They say Silicon Valley especially is bracing for this huge crackdown on these illegal activities.
Mm.
So it sounds like they're expecting Trump to come in and just totally clean up Wall Street.
Yeah, they think he's going to root out all the corruption.
Oh, wow.
Bring back integrity to the markets. They even mentioned that Trump's own company was a victim
Oh, wow.
of naked short selling.
Really?
Yeah, so, there's a personal angle to this for him.
So maybe that's why he's so determined to crack down on all this stuff?
That's what they're suggesting, yeah.
It makes you wonder, how much of this is driven by, a desire to kind of right those past wrongs?
Interesting question. And they also say that, politicians profiting from insider trading tips, that's going to be a thing of the past.
So they think this is like a new sheriff coming to town.
Exactly, yeah.
But wouldn't a change this big also cause a lot of upheaval?
For sure.
Wouldn't there be some fallout?
Yeah, they actually use the word pain
Oh, wow.
to describe what's coming. They think
Oh.
there will be some economic fallout as all this stuff gets exposed and corrected.
Oh, so it sounds like it's going to be a bumpy ride,
It could be.
no matter what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah. It's like they think this pain is a necessary evil,
Mm.
like a cleansing fire
Yeah.
to make the economy stronger in the long run.
It's like we've been living in this fantasy land and now we have to wake up to reality.
Exactly.
That could be pretty rough for the average person, right?
It could be, yeah, if this bubble bursts,
Yeah.
like they're saying there could be a big market correction,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even a crash, and that would affect everyone.
So we could see job losses, investments going down, just a lot of uncertainty. Yeah, it's definitely possible, and the sources don't try to sugarcoat it.
Right.
They think this pain is unavoidable if we want to fix the system.
So they think the system is broken.
Yeah, they say it's rigged to benefit the powerful,
Hmm.
and they think this crackdown will help level the playing field.
So it's kind of like a Robin Hood thing.
Yeah, kind of taking from the rich to help the average person.
But isn't there a risk that this could hurt innovation and investment too?
That's a good point. Yeah, if businesses are afraid of being targeted by
Bring up.
regulators, they might not take as many risks.
Hmm.
It's a tough balance to strike.
Yeah. How do you create a system that's fair, but also encourages growth?
Right. It's a big question, and the sources don't really have a specific answer.
It sounds like they just think the current system is so corrupt that we need like drastic measures.
Yeah, they think the benefits of a crackdown outweigh the risks.
They mention historical examples of market reforms
Right.
where there's some disruption at first, but then the economy became stronger.
Exactly like a short-term pain for a long-term gain.
So it's like a financial detox.
Yeah,
A little uncomfortable at first, but ultimately good for you.
that's the idea.
But even if we agree with that,
Yeah.
there's still so many unknowns.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, how is this crackdown going to actually happen?
Right.
What kind of rules will they put in place?
Mm-hmm.
And how will businesses and investors react?
Yeah, those are all really important questions, and the sources don't really get into the specifics.
It's more like they're giving us this big picture idea,
Right.
but the details are still fuzzy.
Yeah, it's like they're showing us a possible future, but we don't know the exact path to get there.
And we have to remember these are just predictions.
Exactly. It's not a guarantee.
Right. We have to be skeptical
Mm-hmm.
and consider all sides of the story.
Right. There are always different perspectives.
Yeah. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
what are some key questions our listeners should keep in mind?
I think a big one is, what are the unintended consequences? Even if the goal is good, could there be some unexpected problems that come up?
That's such an important point,
Yeah,
especially with something as complex as the global financial system.
absolutely.
So it really feels like we're at this like crossroads, right?
Yeah,
One path is this correction that could be painful, but maybe it's needed, you know?
right.
And then the other path is just keep doing what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But that has all these risks and problems.
Yeah, and the sources we've been looking at, they seem to think this new administration is going to have to make a choice. Like,
Absolutely.
their decisions are going to have a huge impact.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder how
Yeah.
much control any president really has
Mm-hmm.
over something as complicated as the global economy.
Right.
But, okay, let's say these sources are right,
Okay.
and this crackdown on Wall Street really is coming.
Yeah.
What would that actually look like?
Well, we could see tighter rules around short selling.
Okay.
Maybe they'll go after insider trading more aggressively.
Mhm.
And definitely more scrutiny on how companies do their accounting.
Yeah.
There could be a push for more transparency in the markets, too.
So it's like a big cleanup.
Yeah, exactly.
Get rid of all the shady stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But wouldn't the people who benefit from the current system fight back?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you try to change things like this,
Yeah.
there's going to be resistance, especially from powerful people.
So we could see lawsuits and lobbying and maybe even attacks on the people trying to make these changes.
Yeah, it could get pretty messy.
It sounds like a real battle.
It could be.
And in the middle of it all are everyday investors just trying to figure out what to do.
Right. And it's important for them to stay informed,
Yeah.
to understand what's happening so they can protect themselves.
Be ready for some ups and downs in the market.
Exactly.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Mm-hmm.
And don't trust anyone who says they have all the answers.
Right. Because nobody really knows for sure what's going to happen.
But even with all the uncertainty, couldn't there be some good things that come out of this too?
There could be. Yeah.
Like if this bubble really does burst, maybe it'll create some new opportunities.
That's possible. Yeah. Sometimes these corrections can expose problems and force companies to get better.
Yeah.
It might be painful at first, but in the long run, it could lead to a stronger economy.
So it's not all doom and gloom.
Right, exactly. There could be a silver lining.
But it sounds like it's going to be a wild ride.
It probably will be.
Yeah, so people need to be prepared.
Yeah, stay informed, stay engaged, and be ready to adapt.
That's great advice.
Thanks.
We've covered a lot today. Allegations of misconduct, this potential market crash, and this whole idea of a crackdown on Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
It's a complex story, and it's still unfolding.
Yeah, and we'll definitely keep following it.
We always encourage our listeners to do their own research, too.
Absolutely.
Look at things from different angles and come to your own conclusions.
It's important to think for yourself.
This is just the start of the conversation, and we hope it gets people thinking and talking.
Yeah, we want to hear what you think.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
We'll see you next time.